sitting down with us, getting ready for his second season with the San Diego Padres as a big leaguer, Jackson Merrill. Jackson, we were just talking about last year we sat down with you at this time, and so much was unknown. Didn't even know if you're going to make the team at that point. You didn't know what position he was going to play or anything. Talk about the differences between last spring training and this spring training, at least in your mind, if there is any.
For me, no, I treat it the same. Got to make the team. Got to break the team. Got to prove to them that I'm worthy of having the center field job. But also, it is a little more relaxed, for me, not knowing what position I was playing last year to this year. I know what I'm doing. So, yeah, it's a little more relaxed, a little more tranquil than last year.
How was the off season for you? I talked to you at fantasy camp briefly, and you said you were really, really bored and you were ready to get back to it. Like your first off season after playing a lot of games, more baseball probably than you'd ever played in your life. What was your decompression time as opposed to your, all right, it's time to start running and lifting and hitting and all that again?
Yeah, so usually I get back to it pretty fast, but this year was different. This year I took a month to just kind of chill. I'd never played that many games before, never been on my feet so consistently like that. So I just kind of took a month to chill, and then after that it was go time. So I got my running in, lifts in as much as I possibly could. I went home back to Baltimore for a month, so it's obviously really cold outside. You don't really get to go outside that much, but for the most part I was here too. I've been here for 3 months now, so I'm really looking forward to getting these games going. Enjoyed my first 3, so I'm excited to keep going.
Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable how well you managed out in center field last year, considering it was a brand new position that you hadn't even been asked to play until spring training had already started. Where do you think you are now in terms of that development as an outfielder out in center field, and where do you think you can kind of take your game to defensively?
No, still learning a lot. But I think I've done a really good job to learn fast.
Yeah.
I feel like I pick up things kind of quick, and I just want to keep going. Do as much defense as possible, as much reads as possible, just get better in any way possible. If you were watching yesterday, apologize for the.
It was like one little.
Yeah, I've never even done that before. Like
pop out and recatch it.
Literally never had that happen before in the infield or anywhere. I've always just caught it straight to the glove, and I looked it all the way in. It just popped out. So, I went home and I put a little softball in my glove and wrapped it up so the pocket's bigger now, so it doesn't pop out anymore. But I was like, oh.
You know what? I wouldn't have lost any sleep about it if I were you, man. I mean, the way that you played last year, I know that you had done an interview earlier in spring training talking about, you're working the walls a little bit better, getting up, maybe robbing a couple. That's always a fun feeling for a center fielder to do. Who have you kind of leaned on? On the team and maybe even around the league of guys that you've talked to that have kind of helped you with the position, because it's essentially the same view-ish as shortstop, but it's certainly different, man. When that ball, these guys hit it really, really hard. I don't know if you're one of them, and it's spinning and it's knuckling and things like that. Have you leaned on some current big leaguers or ex-big leaguers?
To be honest with you, I've kind of always – in my baseball career, even in the minors, no one really has come to me and tried to force me to learn stuff and controlled me of how I'm learning and adjusting stuff. They've always kind of just thrown it at me and let me see how I handle it.
Yeah.
It's always kind of just panned out. So when I got told to go to center, I didn't ask questions. I didn't say anything. I went to center and I started to learn as fast as possible. And obviously there's stuff about positioning and certain counts. What should I do in certain counts? 2 strikes, you should move it, because if 2 strikes, you're trying to shorten up and get a base hit rather than swing big. But other than that, no. I have been mainly just going at it on my own, and being athletic and having fun. Like I said last year a lot. It's just that's all I was trying to do out there, is be athletic. Go catch the ball. If it's in the air, go catch it.
Is it a thing for you where you don't want to overthink? You don't want to get too much information. You don't want to get, I don't want to hear how this guy does it, because then I might change the way I do it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think just there's a different way about everybody playing center field.
Yeah.
You see Jacob Young, you see Brenton Doyle, Gold Glove for Doyle this year. They just play it a different way. They also play in different stadiums too, so it's harder to ask them what they do, because Colorado, the ball flies, and then the Nats Park, it's a big park and it's a little different. The air is different than Petco. Petco, the ball gets hung up, so it's kind of easier to get underneath balls and catch balls.
Makes sense.
Jackson Merrill is with us, and communication is obviously big in the outfield as well. You don't want to run into each other. You got Fernando now, a full season, has been next to you, but in left field, some new faces this year. What's been your interaction with, you got some veterans like Jason Hayward, Connor Joe's been out there. Got some younger guys. Eggy's played out there. We've seen Tirso Ornelas out there. I'm sure you played with some of these guys in the minor leagues before, but what have you seen from some of the left field candidates so far?
All of them are great. All of them got the ability to play in the big leagues. It's just a matter of which one's going to get the most playing time. And then I really like all the guys. Hayward, Sheets, and even Forrest Wall yesterday. Forrest Wall had an unreal game. Slept on. Single, gets a second, steals third. Obviously doesn't score, but then comes back later.
It's a bomb.
Good home run. He's here to play, and I think that's how everybody here that's what they're here to do. Everybody's here to play and compete for a job. So
you play your first season, finish runner-up for Rookie of the Year, and I know again you said I don't care. I want to win a World Series. Getting as close as you did in your first year, you hear stories like this in baseball a lot. Like you make it your first year, and you make it pretty far in the playoffs. Didn't end the way that you wanted to, and there's been a rash of players that say, I thought it was going to happen every single year. For you, have you thought about that, right? And how the season ended, and how long did that kind of take you to get over?
Once the season ended, it obviously sucked in the moment, but for me personally, I'm a guy that kind of gets over things faster than people. So when it ended, yeah, it sucks, and I'm going to be absolutely bored out of my mind for a week after that.
Did you watch much after?
Yeah, I watched it. I'm a baseball guy, so
that's fair.
I'm watching everything. But to be honest, it was in the past. That year's over. It's over with. You can't change it. There's nothing you can do. They beat us. That's what happened. So all you got to do is look forward to this year and look forward to what you can do in this season.
There's a phrase that people sometimes use for second year players. I don't even want to
say it. Do not say it.
I think you know what I've.
What
it is. Is there? I'm not worried about you at all. I've seen you play and how you bring it. I have no concerns about that. But is that something the team will address or anything like that? Or is there any truth to that in anyone's mind on a baseball field?
No, okay. Not at all. I mean, there was a time in the minors for a month that I struggled and it sucked, but I figured out a way to get out of it and figured out a way to mentally get through it. And I just it's baseball.
Yeah.
You're gonna suck at some points. You're going to. It's a part of it. But it's just how you can adjust and get out of those slumps. Last year, I was in slumps for weeks at a time, but it was I found it and I was out of it. And then I give a month rather than week good, week bad, week good, week bad.
We had Luis Ariz sitting down here yesterday. No one's better with the bat than he is, and he said something that I thought about all day. He said, "Baseball is really hard. Hitting is really hard. It's not impossible, but it's really
team meeting.
Really hard."
Did he?
Yeah, we were having a team hitting meeting. He's like, "I love hitting. I love hitting. I love hitting. But hitting is hard, but it's not impossible." We're like, so what are you trying to say here? He's like, hitting is hard, not for me, but hitting is hard. Thanks, guy. I also see he wrote 3-time batting champ underneath his signature on here.
Yeah, he did.
Wow. That boy Louis. What a guy.
So I'm not the only one who that made an impression on, apparently.
That was great. It was great. He's I love the thing I like about this team, and I think most teams need to be constructed this way. You can't have 9 guys in the lineup to swing the exact same. It's got to be different looks and got to be different ways to beat you. And when you look at the way the Padres lineup is constructed, they've moved you up a little bit in some spring training games. Is that something that you feel, number one, excited about, something that you want to happen? I know a lot of fans, it's every fan's dream to make out the lineup card. And boy, Schulte sure loves it when we give him our suggestions. He's a big fan of it. So, we all play that game in the offseason of, all right, coming into this year, you go Rise at the top, maybe Toddy, then maybe Merrill in the 3. Is that something for you, moving up from 7 to 3, or do you care at all?
I really don't care where I'm at in the lineup. Obviously, I didn't care last year. I started at 9-hole, moved up 8, 7, kind of just moved up a spot at a time until I got to 5th and just kind of stayed there. But if I move to the 3-hole, yeah, good, great. If not, then I got to do my job in the 5 protecting somebody, In the 3-hole, you're protected. So, I got to walk. I got to, take more pitches and see more pitches, try to get a better pitch to hit every A-B. But in the 5-hole, if I don't have as much protection, then I'm the one protecting Manny and Bogey.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on wherever they want to put me, wherever they think is best fit for the team.
You also get up more, though, when you're higher in the lineup.
Yeah, for sure. More RBI opportunities, too.
Yep.
It kind of being at the 9-hole for the beginning of the year, it obviously took away a little bit of that. But, you make do with what you have. You can't complain about where you're at in the lineup if you're in the lineup.
Now, for you, we are, the media experts, and I use finger quotes, and I say that with my tongue firmly planted in my cheek. About midway through the season, we're looking at Jackson, and we're talking about, man, what's the ceiling for this guy, this season? I don't know. I mean, it'd be great if he hit 10, 12, double-digit home runs would be rad, and you go out and you throw 24 home runs up, and I know you didn't really change your approach at all. When you look at hitting 24 homers as a rookie, is it something you look at and go, yeah, I want to get 30, or do you just continue to try to hit the ball hard, good things will happen?
Yeah, try to hit doubles more than homers, because doubles are really important.
They're great.
It keeps the rally going. Homers are good, and they're obviously better than doubles, but
Sure.
they don't come by as much. If you try to hit doubles, line drives, you're going to make out and hit a couple more homers than you think you are. But hitting more homers than I did last year comes with strength and age. I'm only 21 still. I still have time to just kind of fill out, and I haven't yet. I don't really feel like I've gotten that older man strength in my body yet. So kind of just waiting for it to come. A lot of flyouts that were deep to the warning track last year. So if I can get a little bit more extra strength, just by age, just by naturally putting on weight, those are going to go, and then it makes it into 30, like you said.
Yeah. Last thing for me, Jackson, we talked a little bit about yesterday. It was written up in the paper about last Monday when you guys played, and you were done after 4 innings, but you stuck around. The veterans, they usually leave, and you see them all carrying their bags and coming back here, but you stuck around with the other guys all the way through 9 innings. I don't know why it made such an impression on all of us as fans. I know you weren't doing it for eyewash or show or anything, but what's your rationale behind that? Just sitting there.
Certain games, there's certain games where, one, you have to read your body, but two, my boys are in there that I've played with in the minors when I was coming up, so it's cool to get that opportunity to watch them. But also you can learn a few things if you just are chilling watching the game. If you're just locked into a game, you're better at counts. It's crazy, Freddie. It's crazy, Freddie. It's crazy.
Did he give it a little extra juice as he was driving by? I feel like he did.
He put it in gear.
Yeah, he did.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
Talking about being locked in, watching the game, being locked in with your boys.
So it's a good opportunity, especially when you go through a whole season. You don't even get to see some of those guys for the whole year. The 2 guys I live with right now, I didn't even get to see the entire season last year. So for me, it's just a better opportunity. It's just a good opportunity to see some more baseball.
Yeah, I love it.
Jackson, really appreciate it. Obviously, you're number 2. We're looking really forward to seeing you back at Petco Park in a few weeks, but thanks for sitting down with us.